team, you know, like knowing the SMG's past records here, it's always been Sasa that kind of brings the tempo, or in this case, their predecessors, right? If you talk about Season 7, we talk about Season 8, they had Expedia, they had Nova as well, kind of opening things up. That has been, you know, something that caught my eye and attention as well for SMG. They always rely on tanks to kind of set things up, and then later on, Sasa will just carry the game. In this situation, can ZYMSenpai do the same? That's going to be my question.
I think he communicates well with the team. I think when it comes down to communication, it's in terms of like communicating how he wants to set up the play. Yes, he does that very, very well. Executing the play, on the other hand, that's where it gets a little bit iffy. And I'm not entirely sure whether it's going to be possible or not. Bringing it over to Orange Esports, even they have their own little interesting players. Like, I'm excited to see how both WAF and as well as Lola playing, you know, two separate lanes here in the gold and as well, WAF playing in the gold and Lola playing in the EXP lane. Can they hold their own?
I believe that's going to be their first time coming here on MPL stage, correct?
Yeah. I'm sure that they're a little nervous, especially playing like, you know, before this, yeah, we're playing offline. It's not online. We're at the comfort of their own gaming house.
But that's the thing. It's always been it has always been offline until a certain pandemic/endemic happened.
I mean, we can talk about it. You know, it's not like it's a, you know,
I don't know. I don't want to talk about it because, you know, it's very annoying.
It's a little too real.
Yeah, it's too real. Later on, we'll talk about it because we're going to be talking about it later on, so we got to keep it secret now.
Fair enough.
Even though everybody knows it, but yeah.
I think at the end of the day, I need this match to keep going on. I want to see how they're going to perform. And, you know, more and more I look at it, I keep remembering how, like, Smooth has been kind of memed upon for, like, a lot of seasons until he wins an entire season and then goes to M3 to try and prove himself again. So let's see whether he can kind of maintain that performance.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up as well, but it seems to me, you know, we're going to leave that to another day or another time. But as of yet, the match will continue. ZYMSenpai looking to invade. And it seems like Orange Esports, they're not responding to it. They're just completely ignoring the orange buff. And Isonic, he's going to rotate up top instead.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason for them to actually take it, and I don't think they have enough damage with the Uranus or even with the Cho to steal away the orange buff for now. But as we can see, Lexia happily farming here, working towards Sasa's lane, and obviously forcing Lola out.
Yep, speaking of Turtle, we did mention as well, it seems like it is going to be on the bottom side, but however, Orange Esports, they're going to have the Esmeralda cut the lanes alongside with Smooth also mirroring coming from SMG, but Isonic is going to be in some trouble. ZYMSenpai getting a little bit annoying, but seems like he is going to be able to secure his buff instead.
But so far, based on what we're seeing, Lexia does have the more efficient pathing. He is a camp up on him, and we can see that Esmeralda is trying to interrupt it to kind of even the odds. But now WAF in trouble. He's trying to make it out of there. Smooth clips him with his first ability. WAF is trying to get on out, but the shield is not going to be enough. ZYMSenpai makes it out, buys just enough time, but Smooth sustains very, very well. Hasn't even used his ult as well.
Yeah, that was a really, really nice takedown coming from SMG as well. Immediately realizing the threat there and punishing for it. Esmeralda gets caught up pretty hard, but Stormy is a little bit too close. However, the first blood bounty is available.
So far, one kill going over Team SMG. Orange Esports just taking onto the back foot. However, the damage being dished out by Orange Esports is able to deter Team SMG from sitting on top of the turtle, at least.
Yeah, but who's going to get it here? It is still in Orange Esports' favor. Smooth is going to try and harass it while giving a little bit info towards Lexia. Lexia actually getting caught up from the back lines. Meanwhile, the rest of SMG going for the dive towards the back lines. ZYMSenpai getting caught out open as well. He might actually fall. He sidesteps his way through, but eventually gets taken down. Meanwhile, Orange Esports, they're still trying to fight for the turtle, but Team SMG has gotten full control and only sacrifices ZYMSenpai.
Oh, that's some great trades here. ZYMSenpai creating the space needed for his team to actually get on top of the turtle and took a lot of the damage from the feathered airstrike from Man to make that difference. Great turtle slaying coming in for TSMG.
Yeah, and on top of it all, they've also got Isonic in the trade-off, which is crazy. A tank for a jungler? I'll take that any time of the day.
Yeah, let's see how they play out towards this top side here. More importantly, ZYMSenpai might be setting up for a potential dive on Beatrix.
Yeah, and top side, it seems like Orange Esports, they're a little bit slow to respond. Team SMG already in a setup position. ZYMSenpai, they are going to catch Man as well. Can he get the way of the dragon? Man actually getting bursted down in the nick of time, and that's going to be SMG getting another kill.
That's great, that's great. They got the mid laner and not a support. Some very high value targets here as they now will fight for the curve ult. As ZYMSenpai continuing to create that space that we were talking about and allowing the rest of the team to play their own individual lanes untouched. Like Sasa, he's having the time of his life. He should be getting harassed by by Lola, but Lola is too afraid to walk up thanks to Zyme Senpai and Stormy just hovering around that top side.
Oh, Smooth now getting caught out. He's going to be okay. Seems like Urania is going to have the regen, but the rest of SMG are here. And here comes the snipe down. Lexia, he gets one. He's looking for another min, trying to stop him down, but it's not going to happen as he gets the double kill from Team SMG.
Great mechanics coming in from Lexia. A good setup as Stormy was able to hit some huge Sanguine Claws to allow Lexia to jump in smoothly with his ultimate. Now the top side is in complete control of Team SMG, and iSonic is looking for farm.
My goodness, this is perfect display of give him an inch, they take a mile, because SMG literally did just that. They were able to win one small skirmish and they're just flexing it. And look at the confidence coming from Zyme Senpai. My goodness, he's all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, we can also talk a little bit about the changes to the map here in Mobile Legends. Well, now the purple buff allows for you to actually have a little bit of a gap once the purple buff is down to kind of move in and out, giving much better access for supports and mid laners to get through it. But here we go. Min now in some trouble. Oh, clean way of the dragon. It's a flicker to instantly pop Ruby into bits. That's going to be another turtle going over to Team SMG. Nobody can get in on them.
This is kind of surprising. Zyme Senpai pulled a pretty big catch right there coming from SMG, and it seems like SMG are more than prepared in this. And I was expecting Zyme Senpai to, you know, kind of have a really rough time, but he's adapted pretty well.
Yep, and now Sasa is full advantage here. Oh, the perfect execution doesn't land, but he doesn't need it, especially with Thorn Rose to secure those kills. iSonic falling behind as Lexia's more efficient route pathing in terms of the jungle farm is just much better. He's 2 levels ahead of him, and that is going to spell doom for Orange Esports if this continues on. Farsa is going to be popping down. Feathered Airstrike as Smooth comes in to join the team play, but no minions to continue forward.
Oh, this is going to be really bad for Orange Esports. They know the Feather Airstrike is down, and SMGs, they've got even more room to work with because of that downtime, and this is not looking good for Orange Esports.
Well, luckily for Orange Esports, there's nothing that Team SMG could really do to actually continue the punishment at the very least, right? No Feather Airstrike. You have to wait about like 40 seconds at this point of time. So
it was even. Yeah, I perfectly agree, because considering that how greedy they are, if they're trading 50-50s to SMG, that's actually going according to their plan, but they're not trading 50-50s, and in this case it is actually going into SMG's favor. And on top of it all, the longer this game drags on, SMG arguably does not have a marksman, but they still have a Cecilion, which kind of hits pretty hard in the late game as well.
Well, yes, they do have a Cecilion that hits pretty hard inside the late game, but let's not forget about Clint as well.
Oh yeah.
Even though like his V effects aren't like the most outstanding in the world, you kind of feel shredded. Like it's like, wow, I'm losing a lot of health. I don't know where it's coming from. It could just be the basic auto attacks coming in from Clint. But now Orange Esports, the only hope that they have here so far is the game has already progressed to 12 minutes is to survive until wait, 12 minutes? That doesn't seem right.
No, wait, huh? It's been 12 minutes?
Wow.
No. I'm pretty sure it's including the pause time, right?
Oh, yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point. Now, with that in mind, let's say that, oh wait, they already find the I'm offended straight into a kill. 4 members to catch out one. Zyme Senpai finally gets punished, and now it's Smooth's job to try and stop any sort of gold leakage going over Orange Esports as they dive Beatrix down on bottom side, allowing a quick Hunter Strike to be purchased.
You know, SMG, they did that really quickly as well. As soon as Zyme Senpai dies, they immediately trade one for another lane. In this case, Min might be in a bit of trouble here. The turret's going to be down, and here comes the dive coming from SMG. Unfortunately, Min going to be forced to flicker out of there, so that's going to be SMG forcing out a big battle spell.
Yeah, and you know, Team SMG doesn't want to continue forward because Min still has the I'm offended, which is really frustrating to deal with and could potentially turn the tides. Feather Airstrike to clear them out. Turtle now up and ready to go. Game pause once again.
Yep, and another pause coming in. It seems like there's just a lot of pressure coming in from them.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's expected. It's early into the season, and most importantly here, I think, you know, Team SMG is just looking like the cleaner team right now. Their team plays are looking good. Even their counterattacks, which is something that, you know, Team SMG wasn't known for, is looking a lot better. It seems that they've learned a lot from their previous season, and now even with having newer members in the lineup, they still want to make sure those old mistakes don't get repeated.
Yeah, I definitely agree. But speaking of old mistakes, I feel like Orange Esports, they are really struggling to actually sync up. It seems like, you know, if you compare to Orange Esports back into the previous season, even if they're losing this hard, as long as they make enough space for the jungler, in this case, it was was Ling Aza, everything would be okay. But in this case, iSonic hasn't had a very, very good run thus far.
Yeah, I think
I'm a little bit worried here. Who's the fallback plan? Because if you think about it, their jungler has died, their gold laner has died as well. Both Beatrix and Roger has suffered a lot of losses in this, 7 minutes in the game, I think, approximately there.
Yep.
I don't know, can they stall enough time? And who do they stall it for?
Okay, I think what we need to talk about is how the compositions are designed, right? And I think for this particular Roger composition designed by Orange Esports is heavily dependent on the large amount of shred as well as peel coming in from the main two damage dealers, which is going to be the Beatrix and as well as Farsa. Both their ultimates deal a significant amount of damage, but not enough to kill in a lot of situations. Ruby is playing a more defensive role to try and stop the big heavy hitters like Lexia from getting into that backline, but they both want to do the same thing. Deal enough damage, put them down to 50% or maybe even 25% HP, and then send Roger as the executioner.
That's the thing, right? Like, I definitely, I can see where the idea coming from as well. The Ruby is just great at stopping initiations, but Lancelot isn't exactly any other assassin, It's the type that has a lot of iframes that just goes in and it can just completely ignore the defense of the Ruby. So I'm a little bit worried. So there's going to be a little bit more emphasis on the Ruby actually making the big catch. And seeing just now, with the Flicker being baited out before the next objective, that's going to be a very, very huge loss.
Now, I don't think it's a huge loss. I think it just stops Orange Esports from making aggressive plays with the Ruby. However, defensively though, iframes or not, the moment, if he times his ultimate right, the I'm offended will shut, and not even just the ultimate, even the taunt is good enough. The short few seconds that they can get off of Lexia is more than enough to just hail fire on top of it. So I think it's really just about the mechanics, because both teams kind of want to do the same thing. The difference is it's Ruby who wants to slow down the pace for the backline for the side of Orange Esports, and Smooth playing the Uranus who works in tandem with the rest of Team SMG. They fulfill the same roles, just completely different sides of the map.
Yeah, I see where you're getting here. Like the idea of just hard lockdown a Lancelot, but that's the thing, right? You need the Esmeralda in action, and it needs to be in sync with both the Esmeralda, the stuns coming from Forza, alongside with the chain stuns coming from Ruby, and it's going to be extremely difficult considering that Esmeralda is like struggling against the Uranus off the other map, and the Forza hasn't exactly had a good game for Orange Esports. I'm sorry to say, but they need to figure out a way to deal with it as of yet, and I don't see a way in this game one. Honestly, I feel like it's pretty much a done deal ever since they messed up, like making space for this Roger, which initially in my mind is like, hey, Roger's gonna make space for this Beatrix. Unfortunately, that's not happening right now.
Yeah, they do need the side laners to get ahead here a little bit. But I think for Uranus, right now is not when he starts to pop off just yet. I think once he gets 2 items, then he's super comfortable with the position that he's going to be in. And until then, Team SMG are going to hit really hard in that mid game. And I think that's something that Orange Esports needs to kind of mitigate and slow down that bleeding till they get to that very last stage of the game. Their only issue at that point is how much damage can they mitigate, and can they get Uranus off their backline?
You know what's really hilarious?
What?
Like last season, Smooth has not played a lot of Uranus at all. He's played with Alice, and I think he was playing Alice and I think Barats, and also Glue a lot as well from season 7, season 8. But season 6, he was like, he only plays Uranus. And we were like, I remember last season as well, we were hyping up, oh, Smooth, he's gonna play the Uranus, but it never happens. And now it's like, hey, first game of the regular season, he's back on his Uranus, and guess what? It's a comfort hero for him. But people kind of forgot that he plays Uranus.
I don't feel,
I don't know.
I don't feel like people forgot that he plays Uranus. I think Orange Esports was just very comfortable to let it go, because they already picked Esmeralda at the end of the day. And what do you want to deal with? You want Uranus, who doesn't have that carry potential but is a huge annoyance, or Esmeralda, who has a lot more carry potential but doesn't have as much sustain or peel compared to a Uranus. So it's a give or take.
I guess if you put it that way, but as of yet, it seems like they are going to be starting the game very, very shortly. It seems like they are still trying to troubleshoot what is going on between both these matches, but I don't know. I feel like SMG, they look pretty laxed Whereas Orange Esports, they're looking a little bit tense.
Yeah, I think definitely for Orange Esports, this is their very first debut game. The more veteran members are a little bit more comfortable, but the newer members, you can definitely see them kind of like wanting to prove themselves.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It seems like there is just a lot of pressure, you know. Sometimes offline can be really, really overwhelming, and I get that, I respect that, but unfortunately, stats not going to help you. You know, it is a pro game. However, game is going to be starting. Here is going to be the Tier 1 being secured for SMG as they continue to snowball their lead.
Yeah, right now, they want to just punish Orange Esports by just stealing away objectives, as many as they can. They know that they have a decent lead. They have Sasa, who is absolutely bonkers when it comes down on Clint to just shredding down these turrets like they're absolutely nothing. He's already got the Berserker's Fury, so he has more than enough. If he gets any other items, it's just supplemented to how much damage he already dishes out.
Yep, and as of yet, Orange Esports seems like they are going to be grouping up as 4, leaving Esperanza on the other side of the lane. However, seems like the lanes are going to be pushed in favor, in towards Orange Esports base, whereas they're not pushing on the lanes, hoping to sing up for the Lord. And I'm not exactly sure what the clear objective that Orange Esports is trying to do right now.
I mean, if we could see the items, maybe we can have a better idea. I'm not sure how many items Man has right now, but iSonic's getting that War Axe is going to be pretty important. The movement speed is extremely good, especially when you're up against big healers like Uranus.
Oh no.
Smooth, but here we go. Min's already getting caught out. He literally cannot move a single frame forward as he gets completely mauled by Team SMG.
That was crazy. The amount of chain CCs coming from SMG is just spot on, and there's nothing much Orange Esports can do, but now they are going to try and push forward. Zaimsebo does not have to wave the dragon, but on SMG, they just want to push up objectives. They possibly want to sync up for the Lord, but do they want to though?
I think they just want to deal as much damage, get rid of all the tier 2s. They're willing to sacrifice their tier 1s as long as it's not the mid lane turret. Like side lanes, it's just like bonus gold at this point in time. Doesn't really give you as much map control as you want it to. However, that mid lane turret, if that goes down, that opens up a whole new avenue for Orange Esports to play around in the enemy jungle.
Yep, and speaking of which, seems like they are going to be securing the objectives first. Orange Esports finally going to be pushing up the lane. The SMG, however, they're going to be sending Smooth on the top side, keeping Orange Esports in check. Meanwhile, the rest of the members from SMG are already in position for the Lord takedown. Orange Esports, how will they respond? Seems like they are sending the Esme and the Roger up top, so they are going to be late to the party. And guess what? The Lord is down half HP. Seems like SMG will get it for absolutely free.
Yep, you can see the goal deficit. 8k in favor of Team SMG. Orange Esports is really far behind here. Min, he's trying his absolute best to hold them off, and the same goes for WAF. They don't go down, but they are chunked out heavily, having to not only sacrifice a mid-tier 2, but also their orange buff.
Yeah, Team SMG, they're just getting everything for free right now, and considering that Orange Esports has just lost so much of the lead, I don't know. This is tough. This is rough. Look at Smooth. He's just right in the face of Orange Esports base, and they're just not responding to this.
Look, Smooth is literally level 13 to WAF's level 11. He's 2 levels up here, man. Lexia is level 15 to iSonic's level 12. He's 3 levels up. Even in the supports, he's a full... Zaimsebo is literally a full level on Min. It is not an easy task to play this game, and Orange Esports has to wait for Team SMG to make a mistake.
Yo, Lexia is level 15. My goodness, he's so far ahead. But seems like the Lord is going to be knocking down onto the tier 3. Orange Esports, are they going to start any sort of fights? Min is only level 9. Seems like Zaimsebo looking for the kick, but he's going to get chain stun as well. Min comes in, but do they get the finish? Feather Asher comes in, completely whiffs the mark. Will focus on towards the Lord. WAF, however, will get chunked out. SMG.
Oh, 2 consecutive crits. More than enough as they take down 2 inhibitor turrets, and they're only going to get more here off of 1 Lord coming in from Team SMG with a 10k gold lead. That is going to be checkmate as Zaimsebo continues to flex. iSonic goes out instantaneously, and Alexia is unstoppable. A triple kill going to Team SMG. This is a new year, new me moment for Team SMG. Well done.
Wow, look at how quickly Sasa puts on the headset, takes off the headset. He knows he's got it in the bag. This is it for SMG, and what a convincing round coming from SMG, the defending champions, the M3 representatives for Malaysia. What a way to start the regular seasons here.
Yep, that's a really great start. Some clean plays coming out from Team SMG. They made it look clinical, easy easy games from here on out, and hopefully that's not going to destroy the mental coming in from Orange Esports here. They just played a little sloppy. It's their very first game here. They come back in game number 2. That is going to send Team SMG through the works.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like it shows you that, you know, Orange Esports, they've got a lot to work with. They gotta fix their tweaks here and there. But fortunately for them, it is only the beginning of the regular season, and it's only game 1. So game 2, anything can happen.
Yeah, I think anything can happen here so far. But in terms of like what the meta is and the draft, I think both teams have a generally good idea. It really just came down to a couple of micro mechanics that made all the difference for Team SMG.
Now, I've got a little bit of question here, Orange Esports. Are they gonna sub in Balance? Because, you know, we know for a fact that, you know, previous season, you know, Ling Aza was the star, but secretly, Valence was also the guy to go to.
Yeah, he kind of was. You're right, he was kind of the guy, but I don't think they're going to bring Valence in just yet. I think the current roster needs a little bit more experience, get comfortable up on stage before they can really start showing off what else they have. Because we all know how the early seasons of MPL always starts. Everybody kind of like feels each other out before they start getting comfortable and start showing the really sick compositions or even plays.
It seems like Lixia still picking up